those years, I'll tell you. I think this is 82. I did a series of heads, Steve. So I'm gonna get. I think I got about 6 of these heads, and this is the last one. Ira and I've scanned all of them.
Ira, this is Scott.
Oh yeah, we met.
Hey. And he works at MCAT.
Yeah.
And I have a program.
Oh, okay.
And so we're just going to get some shots,
today.
if that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to work on first? Here?
Let's scan this one first.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you show me how this?
Yeah, that way you'll see how it's done. I've got like 3 pieces I want to do with the sculpture stand.
Excellent. Drop in, basically, but with the stuff he wants to do, I'll ask him to just give me a ring.
Well, I
set
make
stuff
appointments,
up.
Steve, because I bet you we've scanned 50 pieces in here,
Yeah,
man.
it
All
gets
last
wild.
spring, I was bringing stuff in like once a week. I bring in at least 10 pieces, and we did this for like 2 months.
And so your goal is to create a multiple of this once you have the record.
This is basically archiving. This is 3D archiving.
So once he gets it filmed, it's archived.
Once he gets it in, he puts it in an STL file.
Okay.
And that file I can print from.
We'll just watch.
Okay.
I can
Let
show you.
them watch the masters at work.
No, this is my archiving. The computer will shoot like 60, 70 pictures as he walks around it. And then he puts it in the computer and it combines them all, and you'll see it turns it into an STL
So is
file.
this currently printing?
Yeah.
And that's the material there that's the
PLA plastic. Yeah.
red and the green.
That's like a little. So I was moving too fast.
The red isn't where it's not capturing. The green is where it's capturing it.
You can cut that out before you decide to print.
Yep. There's a little editing function that's kind of nice. So he convinced me to buy this because we were trying to figure out ways to scan bigger stuff, and we did a couple scans and it seemed to work well. You just didn't get enough point cloud data. Whereas with the Pro version, you get basically it captures every single point that you.
Well, this is remarkable.
So it's done now.
Well,
so
not only that, Steve, but once he gets it, then I can take this 3D thing, the STL file, and I put it into another program, and I can add things to it, I can subtract things to it, I can blow it up, I can make it smaller.
There we go.
So are you dumping that now?
We're gonna just try it again.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't, unless you choose to save it, it'll just saves in like a temporary file and then gets rid of it. Any holes in the model that basically data that was missed. In order to make it 3D printable, you gotta fill those holes. So there's just like extra editing involved. If you don't, then it leads to errors.
When I print this up, it'll be so full of supports, you won't even be able to see the piece. Then you have to go in and break out all the little supports.
Okay. And is that because of material?
Yeah, it's just because it won't
And so
overhang.
when the printer is adding information when it receives this, this is, in order for us to do this, this is the way we're going to have to print it. It's saying that.
Yep. So we would take this file, we put it in it's called 3D slicing software that you basically load up your model and it slices it down into different layers.
That's good.
To what's called G-code, which is what the printer's going to run, and that's basically X, Y, Z movements that the printer will take in order to actually build the model from the bottom up.
Well, that's how I got hooked on it.
That's true, yeah.
Came in and tried to scan my little geometry and wouldn't work. But then I started finding out what it could do. And then this guy came in with a little print that he'd made using a little tiny printer. And I said, hey, I'm not going to do that. Ira says, hey, you get that printer, I'll help you set it up. Hey, I wouldn't have done it if he hadn't said that, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And then been rocking and rolling ever since.
So
This one you might want to do it smaller.
Smaller value box.
Get as fine a box as you can.
Let's see. I was just telling Jim about this, but there's a couple of programs out there. It's this method of 3D scanning called photogrammetry, where you actually have you can take like your phone or like a high quality camera, and you take several photos of much like we were doing, but it compiles it in another program.
Well, this is amazing also to keep a record,
Oh yeah.
create a record.
Oh, I'm gonna have over 30 years of sculpture in a shoebox. My mother and child.
All right. But yeah, I haven't scanned it. I scanned something else that was similar, but
Yeah, they're similar.
You know, I discovered that when I published that book a few years ago, when I was doing that Blind Men and the Elephant. I mean, those drawings were 26 by 36.
Yeah.
And then when you reduce them down to, you know,
It changes them, doesn't it?
it changes them. It makes, I mean, you need a strong composition going on,
Yeah.
regardless of the scale.
Right.
But when they reduce down, I mean, there's a lot of forgiveness there.
Yeah. Scale, it just changes the effect. I mean, from the geometry, sometimes by using my little figures as little avatars in my geometry,
Yeah.
it's just about as good as standing there in front of the big piece, you know,
Yeah.
in a way.
Stuff you're trying to get rid of in this room.
stuff over time, things.
This is
Hey, this is my most familiar tool.
this is your response to the State of the Union.
Digging holes.
Yeah. Each time I come in, it's a learning experience doing this. What you can get away with or not. And then printing them too. Some of them just don't print very well either.
I think what really blows my mind is how the computer keeps track of its position.
Yeah. And then when it's, you know, after it's scanned, then when I put it in the printing program, it'll do a slicing. So it slices through the whole thing to determine where it's thicker and where it's thin and where you have void points and things.
That shovel might be a little
Tricky.
Yeah.
It's not very thick.
Yeah. It's we'll see.
It looks like you're getting it all.
Kind of amazed what it can.
Because we just scanned the chainsaw. We set the chainsaw on the sculpture stand and scanned that too.
He was your book censor.
You're not checking that out. Yeah.
We're taking that page 86 out.
We got free magazines out there, but
You want to remodel this space? We're ready.
industries.
What,
Hey, Jim,
should we try it again? You
let me
think,
show you.
Ira?
Yeah, should we
I'm
save
reading
this
about
one in
the
case?
shovel.
Yeah, you can save that. I might be able to add something to it later. I've been putting my shields on some of these things. Go down further. No, that's good. That's
What do you want?
no. It's like do the whole thing, and it'll give me something to play with. Because when I was flipping the peace sign, sometimes the fingers didn't come out, so I was just putting one of my little mandala on the end of it, and it worked pretty good. We did a carbide lamp that I had, an old miner's lamp, and the shield was too thin. It never picked up, so I took it home and added a bunch of masking tape to the reflector, and it came out great, man. It looks really good.
How to edit things.
An attitude of an artist walking in here and saying, these are my sculptures, and can I create? And so that's maybe pushed you a little bit.
Yeah, it just kind of got me to. I mean, I'm always trying to be responsive to what patrons or users want, things that they'd like to see. And he was definitely I always tell people, if I don't know, it's like, well, we can always try it.
Yeah.
I think that's what I told him the first time. I was like, we can always try it.
Yeah.
We first
She's
started
been
with
telling me
this
that ever since I
turntable scanner for smaller stuff, and then I was like, oh, I've got this iPad with this attachment. We can try it out. And then I did some more research and figured out this program could be used with that. And then he convinced me. He was like, hey, because with the non-pro version, you get less data captured, so the scans are what's the word, faceted, or it's less defined.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, well, why don't you consider getting the pro version? I'll definitely use it. You know,
Yeah.
it's been great to have. Yeah, I've used it at least several more times than he has too. Like I've had other people come in. So.
Yeah. It's great.
So yeah, it's been good to I'm always interested.
He's kind of a performance artist too.
Oh, totally. Yeah, he's. I don't know if you've seen the mask.
Yeah.
the mask
scans
was what
we
made
did.
it happen.
That was interesting too. I wondered. I was like, I wonder what people think over there think was happening. 'Cause it's like this guy in a mask.
But
I'm like walking around.
That's
there.
because
mask
you're,
and a
you're
bugle.
wondering what they're doing.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
Come on, it's two-way street.
Exactly.
All use this technology and are kind of up to speed like pretty quickly.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the handheld ones that you can get for several $1,000s. It's definitely, from what I understand, is that's used for like scanning old buildings or like old architecture, like spots, to then take into probably CAD design. So yeah, it's definitely, this is just more of like the cheaper end of things. So you don't get as much detail. But it's nice to have it here because it doesn't break my budget to have this, and we can also get some like working results.
Well, it's a miraculous service that the library is providing.
Thank you. Yeah, we
Like
love to do it.
Libraries themselves are changing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, call on my inner Archie Bunker, but books are disappearing.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
the traditional ways in which we're thinking of libraries is changing, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I dig it.
Okay, I'll be as still as I can.
Let's see. To increase
Start from the beginning.
that.
Looking kind of skinny. That's because you can't get away from them. I think when you get closer, it ends up skinnier like that. It's like what happened with my face. Make it into a wall piece and slice you right down the back, so you're flat and you just hang on the wall.
Well, yeah, I have this Jim Reeves thing that's about like that. It's pretty
No,
cool.
that isn't too bad.
Thank you for tuning in to Look Before You Speak, and today we have a very special guest, Jim Hewes, and we've come out here to Potomac, where Jim lives, and we're thrilled that he's going to show us around his property, some of the projects he's working on, and we're thrilled to be able to take a glimpse inside of this really passionate artist's life. And we're in his studio. We're going to start in our studio here. So, Jim, This is Jim Hewes. And wow, look at this model.
Yeah, that's what started it.
Started your whole process.
Yeah.
And this is 20 years old, probably.
Over
like-
20 years old now. But more like 20 24, 25 years
And
old.
it's constructed out of cubes and tetrahedron, and this is a balsa wood model.
Balsa wood.
Yeah.
And then plexiglass with refraction grating paper glued to the plexiglass.
Oh, okay.
So you get like a refraction when it gets the light through it.
Oh, it's just wonderful.
Yeah, I spent a year building this.
And moving it, you must have been terrified of moving this thing.
Yeah, plus when I had to move it the first time, we were being evicted. I was living in the Goodman building in San Francisco, and they'd been on rent strike for 10 years. And it was the last year of the rent strike.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. You are really versatile. You are a sculptor, ceramic artist, you do printmaking, and you really have a grounding in drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we'll see here in a little bit in the program. Hopefully we'll go in and look at your printers and stuff you've been experimenting with in the last couple of years. But you're quite a versatile artist.
I like my medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is your studio. You out here every day?
Oh, not this winter.
Yeah.
No, I lost my heat this winter. But yeah, I try and get down here, although this is my ceramic studio, basically, a ceramic and printmaking studio. The welding I do up in the next to the house, in the studio up there. The Tamarack Talisman, 2005 when it was finished. It was 30 foot by 30 foot. Yeah, that's my attempt at the map so that it'll fit on the icosahedron.
I see, yeah. And here's North America, here's the
Baja.
Baja,
Yeah.
and Mexico,
Yeah.
Central America. So it'll rest in there like that. Oh, nice fire. Boy, did we get a good day.
Oh yeah. Left out here. There's some more on here. Get this thing cooking again.
Can you get a shot of this?
Finished the big one
Yeah.
in 2003. So it took me 3 years to build it and then a couple of years to take it apart.
Well, this is really held up well. It's great.
I'm amazed.
It's great.
And even the paint, that was like a heavy duty steel paint, just a primer.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's held up really well.
yeah, it sure has.
And these bottom pieces, everything has been here for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, that's very nice.
So I found that it's kind of overgrowth. So the rings are really tight together.
Yeah.
So it's really hard stuff. It lasted a long time.
Well, I think the more people can see this, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're always so generous in sharing about it.
Well, I rearranged it and built it out in front a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then I
And-
had my website listed out there. I had email listed out there.
And did you get visitation?
Nothing.
Really?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Except the kids. The kid toilet papered it 1 year.
Oh, they did. Yeah, there's not much to do out here in Potomac.
Oh, I don't know.
And so you're allowing this tree to grow in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to let it grow.
But you know, when I built around it, and it's probably grown 4 feet since I built around it.
You've had deer in there.
Oh, the deer check out everything.
Yeah, they're curious.
They are.
Well, it's simply beautiful, Jim. Oh, in here, in the printing room.
I kind of made this because this 3D printing kind of stinks.
Oh, I see.
So this
So
is I close up the room and this is my
You have your printer going,
yeah.
and I'm just going to put this here. How's that? Is that okay?
Except now they're plugged up and not working.
Okay.
So.
But this is your indoor printing studio.
Yeah.
So you have some stuff to
My
show us?
3D printing
Your
studio.
3D, okay.
Yeah. We scanned these corners that I did in steel at the library. So now I can print them different scales.
And so you're able to,
It helps me visualize what it would look like. So this is about the scale that it is outside. If I was me and the chainsaw.
Okay, and that is a scan of you.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all scans of me except for the skydiver.
Okay. And so this shape is a tetra.
This is a tetrahedron and a cube. So this whole sculpture is made out of a cube and tetrahedrons attached. There's a layer of tetrahedrons, a layer of cubes, a layer of tetrahedrons, a layer of cubes. I found a book that I'd done that it was on the Sri Yantra, Hindu, tantric symbols. But it was the geometry that got me. And I realized that I could do the geometry in 3D, and between the social interactions of the trigrams or the hexagrams, and then this becomes about the individual. So anyway, I started playing with those triangles and created the Sri Yantra.
And how long have you been focused on on geometric shapes? How long is that? Like 20 years, 30 years,
40 years.
40 years?
Yeah, a Buckminster Fuller. I got hooked on Buckminster Fuller. And actually, I don't know if I have the book. It's probably out in front. There was like, in '68, they printed the whole Earth catalog. And then in the whole Earth catalog, I found a bunch of dome books. So I wanted to build a dome. So I guess the first dome I built was up here on the property. I did a plywood dome. And then started building these geodesics, getting into just the geometry.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just an interesting shape to deal with.
And so then how long have you been working with the printers?
Printers, these 3D printers?
Yeah.
About 2 years now.
So it's just an
Short.
extension
Yeah.
and a different tool, just like a chainsaw.
Well, it was funny. Well, first, I wanted to see if I could do this with a 3D printer, because they have the scanner at the library. So one of the first things I scanned were trophies, my dad, and different things, just with the little scanner that he had at the library. But then, when we realized we could scan bigger things, that's when I wanted to scan these corners so that I could make more models. So it just opened up a whole new extension of what I've been doing.
Wow.
And then this is like a gesture. So I started thinking of gestures that I could do. First I hauled in the chainsaw and had him scan me with a chainsaw. And then
Look at
at
that.
the same time I had him scan me with like a
You're part of the Blue Man group here. That's great.
And then he printed this up, bigger one, because I didn't have a big printer. That's about as big as I could print. So he printed this for me, holding a square and a hammer. And after that, I just started thinking all these different gestures I could do.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. A square
Framing square
and a hammer.
and a hammer. And then I started thinking of gestures.
Where does this one go?
Oh, just anywhere.
Yeah.
So with the gestures, when I was casting bronze in Salt Lake, it was in a little bronze foundry in Salt Lake. We cast some stuff for BYU, and the guy that did the Moroni on the temple, he did a bunch of Western art. It was Cyrus Dallin, and there's one of this Indian sitting on a horse with his hands back like that. It's called Appeal to the Great Spirits. So I had to do my own gesture, Appeal to the Great Spirits. So that's how that gesture happened.
Okay,
That's
okay.
Appeal to the Great Spirits. If I had
Ooh.
if I had a headdress on and
You don't need a headdress to
No.
appeal to the great spirits.
yeah, because that's just a nice gesture. Appeal to
Yeah.
the Great Spirits.
That's nice. And you have them at 3 different scales.
Yeah, just playing with the scale. That's
Yeah.
the thing with these printers. This is one of the first ones we printed at the library, and we printed it really small because it's like that's still like a 2-hour print.
Yeah.
This is like an 8-hour print. These things and because it's so fine.
Yeah.
Where the one I did of you it was like a 9-hour print, but the layers are wider and it's not quite as finished. Green Man sounds the alarm. Then, okay, they have that machine for engraving. That what do they call it? Anyway, it's got another tool at the library.
Wow.
So this is Green Man sounds the alarm. He's out of the box now.
Oh, man. Oh, you're having fun with this tool.
Yeah. What do they call it?
Engraver?
Well, it's an engraver. It's like a router.
Oh.
But you can do all kinds of different things. And it's another toy at the library.
Mm.
So I got, this is like a $2 box from Michael's. Took it apart so we could, and then I got, so this is a mask that a friend of mine gave me, the Green Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is a Boy Scout bugle that my grandfather gave me. So I had him scan me with the bugle, with the mask. That's my Green Man sounds.
You're joining the Green Man group. Not
Yeah,
the Blue Man.
Not the Green. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I want to do him in fluorescent, but
Oh, that's great.
it isn't. That isn't quite working
No, I
yet.
think the greens is great.
And then these are a bunch of little figures that I did that I started. It was like documenting. It's like archiving all my sculpture, but
Sure.
I can 3D archive it
Sure.
with the scans.
It's remarkable.
So it prints like that. So it has to support. These are all supports in here.
And then you have to peel this away.
Then this all breaks away.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the those other gestures. Well, like that. There's another me with the square that I printed, and it's got all these things that all the supports
away.
you have to break away. Yeah,
Mhm.
but it's amazing.
And can you reuse this?
No,
No. Okay.
no. Once it's done, it's done.
Okay.
So then at the library, okay, since we were at the library, I had to do
A book.
a book. Me reading the book. So I found this big ceramics book and hauled it down there so he could scan me. And then another gesture, peace symbol.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's good.
there's all these gestures you can use, you know. So I wanted to do something positive. Now that was going to be to go in with my models with the Earth, because I thought doing a
Are you reading a phone there?
reading a phone, and I thought it would be a great app to do like a tetrahedron through the Earth, and then where those 4 points come out on the planet, you'd have like a live website or a website there, kind of like Google Earth, except that you know people don't connect to each other, to everybody around the Earth, you know. And I've been watching the United Nations TV,
Yeah.
and wow, you know, we're totally clueless about the rest of the world.
Right.
But people don't have, you don't have a connection if you just look at the globe. So I thought, well, I'll do a tetrahedron through the Earth and do 4 points where they come out. You can figure it out, you know, longitude and latitude to the minute. And then have it on an app like Google Earth, so you could just zoom right in and see where that
the 4 points.
Yeah, that connection is. That makes you like this. It's truly unique. This to actually, this is one of the most accurate flat maps when it's laid out.
Wow. Can we get some close-ups of inside here? That'd be great.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
That one is this one is the experience. I'd like to make all these panels 8 feet and attach them to the big one.
Is that
outside.
what's outside? Is
Yeah.
roughly that? Yeah. Okay.
And then this is me trying to kind of scale it.
And then what materials have you come up with to do this?
I was thinking of those prints that they used, when they wrap buses.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that kind of
Yeah.
And then I talked with the Buckminster Fuller Foundation, and as long as I give him credit, I can use this map.
Oh, cool.
Because it's patented. He patented it in 1932.
So there's North America, South America. So the equator is roughly here.
Yeah.
Or,
Because here's like the Arctic and Antarctica is down here.
yeah, wow.
There.
Oh, there they are. Yeah, I see. Wow. There's Australia. There's Indonesia, India, China.
So if you take this tetrahedron and suspend it, and say we point one end like that down to Montana, the other end ends up in India.
Okay.
So, but this is how I kind of picture it. This is like your tetrahedron in the sculpture.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it'll be those 4 points.
So will this be
connected.
able to be rotated?
Could.
Yeah.
Just because once you know 1 point, you know all 4 points. You only have to know 1 point, and the other ones are automatic. In other words,
I see.
1 point here, the other one is directly across.
Well,
from
just
it.
because of the balance, it has to.
Just because of the nature of the tetrahedron. Tetrahedron is like if it's just straight like that, this is 90 degrees to that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know this point, you know that point, and you know the other ones because they're 90 degrees and
Okay,
the
that
dimensions
makes
are the
sense.
same. My green man, got hooked on my green man.
Yeah.
It's a wind animal.
Very cool.
And that was my first etching. And this is like the clay model of that etching.
Wow. Beautiful.
And this was one of the first ones we scanned at the library. My old Spelunker's carbide lamp.
yeah.
The miner's lamp.
Oh, neat.
And this is just about the right size for scanning with the little scanner that he's got that's really super
Refined,
high resolution.
yeah. Very cool.
Oh, and then when we were doing those prints of you, that's me holding the peace sign.
Oh, yeah.
This
yeah.
is peace in the I Ching
Okay.
in Chinese, and the Chinese character that's in the I Ching.
Very cool. And so this, you said, is the first model
Yeah,
of the, yeah, like that. Okay.
this is what I made the other one out of.
Very cool.
First one. Because it turns out the drawing that I used initially was the cross section, but when it comes out to the surface, it's a different pattern. So I had to print 2 different patterns.
So you really have
Yeah, I did this in the 80s. I don't know. It's like I have to look at my.
But I mean, you're really motivated by what's inside your head.
Well,
Like you don't, I mean, you're not necessarily worried about developing the technique to accomplish it. You just rely on the techniques that you know.
well, yeah. It's like learning how to do the 3D printing.
Yeah.
That just kind of opens me up.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
Yeah. But I don't know, it's like from going to architecture school in Bozeman. It's like I've always worked with blueprints. Mm-hmm. My dad was a structural engineer, so he'd always drag home blueprints.
Yeah.
So it was kind of,
So you were around that growing up.
yeah. And then when I started working construction, I was using blueprints.
Yeah.
So I do my models. I do the drawings first. I like working from drawings. If you can draw it, you can build it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always felt that way.
Yeah.
You're going to lose a bunch of snow here today or tomorrow.
Oh, and it's been piling up on the porch.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, so that material, yeah, printing that, the insides, that's going to be pretty tricky.
What?
Getting it plotted, the map,
Oh,
or do you have that?
no, I've got it figured out.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's like a tetrahedron. It's 22 degrees. Oh, I don't know. I've got it written down. 22 degrees, 17 minutes above the equator. 22 degrees below the equator.
Oh,
I was going to do a ceramic map, but it turned out to be
too hard?
too difficult,
Yeah,
and I couldn't do it as accurately as I'd like.
yeah, yeah.
that's just a quick sketch. I was just eyeballing it
Yeah.
to see if it would just frustrate me or would look half decent.
And what did you discover?
I'm going to have it printed. Yeah, it's not totally unsatisfying. I thought maybe I could project on it using a projector too.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think to have it printed on some kind of plastic would work just as well.
It has the potential to be really resolved piece, you know, just really.
I actually shoveled out the inside of here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Because I'm not sure. These are 8-foot logs, and I thought maybe 6 foot would be better. I'm not sure.
Boy, I like the scale.
You like this
I
scale?
really do like the scale. But, yeah, you could probably go down to 6.
6, but it's like,
Then you'd be, what, 2 feet down?
yeah.
2 foot shorter?
Well, the triangles would be 2 foot shorter.
Yeah. Well, the height would be 2 foot
Yeah,
short.
probably, yeah. But I don't know, because it's like when I, like on the that Tamarack Talisman that I built, those are 3 foot, but then it becomes inclimbable. So
Yeah.
people they look at it and they think of it as a jungle gym
Yeah.
rather than, you know, the object that I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, this is really remarkable.
So I don't know if this is
So
would be
it's,
the appropriate.
it's a work in progress.
Yeah,
I like that material.
that's just heavy duty plastic,
Yeah.
but it doesn't last. The sun will break it down.
Yeah.
I mean, I've used it to cover the carport, and within 1 or 2 years, the sun will break it down,
Yeah.
and then it just crumbles, man. It's really
Yeah.
terrible
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been thinking about some kind of canvas, or
Yeah.
there's just all kinds of different things you could use.
This is really a strange world. I am not living in the same old, same old.
Well,
And-
I always thought making art is like the most. It's not a destructive thing, you know. It's a really positive thing to do in the world.
Oh man, that's a good way to look at it. It's constructive.
Constructive. It's
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
It's not a negative thing to do.
Yeah. Well, that really comes through in the work.
Yeah.
And the vision too is really patient. You're really patient.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel too patient. And it's in that geometry, you know. It's like I just keep following the geometry. And I thought of geometry as it's like it's universal. So you're not gonna. It doesn't have a religious content, you know, or it doesn't have like an ethnic content to it. It's universal. Everybody knows geometry.
Yeah.
Triangles, cubes, squares. So it's something you can do, and you're not going to offend anybody with it
Well, I am
by making a
offended.
statement.
No, I hate those triangles.
Yeah, doesn't work in a triangle and a square.
Oh, I think that's a great way to put it. Margaret Mead always talked about the one universal being the scribble that naturally occurs in every single culture.
Yeah.
I don't know, is there a culture that's not familiar with the triangle or square? Probably not
can't
in this
imagine
day and age.
No,
There,
that's
you
even-
think ever? You think? I think there was probably cultures that weren't completely aware of a triangle, but not in this day and age.
Well, when Euclid wrote the book, it was like 300 BC.
Yeah, okay, that's right. The other thing Margaret Mead talked about, besides the scribble being universal, is the line sooner or later humans would equate the line with the horizon.
Huh.
But I think that's really Western.
A line being horizon? Yeah,
I think it's really a Western idea.
maybe.
Because that's the beginning of perspective,
Yeah.
the concept of perspective. I don't know if that is, if you could say that that's a universal, as much as I just really like that whole thing of the triangle square. Well, this has been a remarkable experience, and I want to thank you for having us out today, and hope that we can come out again.
Sure.
And you know, you look at what's this place today, and this is in March, and we've had a challenging winter, but I'm sure these sculptures also change with the seasons.
Oh, yeah.
With the spring, and we saw some deer in the distance here, but I imagine the deer and the animals interact with all of these sculptures too. So.
Oh, yeah. Usually, well, the chickadees and the nuthatches will eat out of your hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're like the deer. I've gone through like numerous generations of these birds and these animals, and pretty soon they just become accustomed to you, you know.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for having us, and I hope that we can do it again.
Sure.
Thanks a lot, Jim, and good luck with all of your future endeavors. And
Thanks for coming out.
keep inspiring us. You're inspiring us. So, and thank you very, very much.